Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. It's match day today. It is Spurs v Leicester. We want your views on the team news. We want you to tell us what you think is going to happen in today's game. We are live for the next 25 minutes before our watch-along show, which will start just before kickoff with Elijah. So get your views in, get your comments in our pre-match fan zone show.
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Are you ready for the show? Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everard's, Pucka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hologram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newbie and Co-Estate Agents. We want your views, we want your comments, so join us live. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, good afternoon there. I don't know about you guys, but I'm absolutely not looking forward to today. I don't know what it is. Normally, I love the football. I just got a really strange feeling about today's game. We're putting the team across the bottom there. Obviously, we didn't play against Aston Villa last week, so that could have been decisive, that game. Rodgers may or may not. Who knows what would have happened. But today, tough game at Spurs, who've had an unbeaten start to the season. So we want your views, we want your comments on the team news. Danny Ward is in, James Justin, Evans, West Wout, Castagne, Youri, Tillemans, Ndidi, Barnes, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, Daka and Maddison. Where do you want to start with it? For me, I'm being honest, I said Danny Ward wasn't good before the season was even started. I didn't think that we replaced Kasper Schmeichel with Danny Ward was the right thing to do at all. Kasper Schmeichel even said he wasn't going to leave the club until we got a replacement for him. And then, because we hadn't, Danny Ward suddenly given the number one shirt. For me, he's not good enough. 6 games, he's looked poor in a lot of those games. I would not have him in there. Fee, yes, there is a watch along today. Elijah is going to do it 5:25 in just over 20 minutes. Is going to be in there. Nick, I hate to say it, Nick, but I absolutely feel a bit like you. I just don't know what it is, but I don't absolutely feel like we're going to get much out of today. Jerry says Danny Ward, I won't play him. I've said it. I wouldn't play him. I don't think he's good enough. I haven't seen enough of Iverson to know if he's good enough. I just think it's one of those where you go, we lost a keeper and we didn't replace a keeper. And not only did we lose a keeper, we lost Casper, who is our club captain, been there through all the ups and downs. Danny Ward in for Casper, I just don't think it's good enough. Fanwell says, let's win, guys. Fanwell, I hope we do. LCFC Gray is saying 4-1 Kane hat-trick. Harry Kane always scores against us. I hate this. I feel so negative today. But I'm looking at the team there and I'm going, well, for me, he's just Danny Ward. Like Peter says here, big mistake. And here's another one for you. I hate to sound like I'm moaning, but Maddison. Where's Maddison playing in that team? Where do you think Maddison is playing in that team today? Luke says he feels sorry for West Wout because he's been lobbed into a struggling side and all hope will be put on him. Mark says Danny Ward isn't good enough and got shot down. RF says one final hurrah for Brendan going into this international break. Is it last chance Saloon today, RF? It surely is in there. James saying, where's for father? Yeah, very good. No Tint says, sorry, can't see a win, think we'll be bummed by games. Okay, not interesting use of words there. No Tint, but yeah, I agree. No tinted glasses in there. Andy says you can't blame Ward for all 16 goals. Defence got to take some blame. I agree, Andy. I'm not blaming Danny Ward for a lot of the goals. I don't think Danny Ward's made many saves. I don't think he's looked in command of his area. I think some of the goals against us, which he's been involved with, are public goals. I'm thinking of one of the Chelsea goals rolled across the front of our defence. And Danny Ward, just watch back some of the goals, Andy. Danny Ward has been woeful in there. Maddison, I want to know, where do you think Maddison is going to play today? Because for me, I think he's going to play on the wing. And again, or part of a three on one of the sides. And I just go, there's some players I look at and go, look, Maddison, statistically, I believe last season in the Premier League was one of, if not the best, number 10 goal scorers, goal assists. I think you guys, and I know where Maddison has been pretty good on form recently. Looks like he's bothered about things. Play him where he's best. Play him as that number 10. He's the quarterback. He's the playmaker. He's the guy who you want to get on the ball in the middle of the pitch. He can either create something for one of the attackers, have a shot, win a free kick on the edge of the box. He's that sort of player. If Brendan Rodgers has put him out on the wing again or out on the side, I'm just like, why do that? Put a winger, put a wide person out there. You know, play. For me, football isn't rocket science. We've got some round pegs. Put as many of the round pegs in the round holes as you can. I get it. If you can't fill a round hole with a round peg everywhere, you've got to make some players move around. But if you've got Maddison, put that round peg in that round hole, which is play him as a number 10. I think that's what shirt number matters is, isn't it? 10. It says it on the back of his shirt. It's there. He's a number 10. I had to use my brain to see which one was the maddest one. He's a number 10. If he plays on the wing today, if he plays on the wing and we win and it's great, then fine, I'll eat my words. But if he plays on the wing and it goes wrong again, just pick him and put him where he plays best. Football's not rocket science. Football's not rocket science. Let's get some of your comments in there. Rodgers is just being stubborn. Mark says Ward is a shot stopper only. Not seen him make any shot stopping either, but not good enough to command the box in there. I didn't watch today, says Paul G. That's not Paul Gilding, is it? But anyway, if it is, hi Paul, whoever you are. Ivan says here, team needs a Brian Clough speech. Do what I bloody pay you. Do what I bloody pay you to do. That's the worst ever Brian Clough impression you've got. Phil, you must know by now that if a player plays well in a position, Brendan will move them for the week after. I'm afraid, Kenny, that's what I'm saying. Look, let's look at that team. Some of it picks itself. He's picked Danny Ward. Like Jack says, I would drop Danny Ward. I think you have to make... You're 6 games in with 1 point. You have to do something. Again, Brendan Rodgers is paid £10 million to do things. Now, for me, 6 games in, it's a right shit show. I'm going to use that word because it is a shit show at the moment. And I hate to swear. I always say, don't swear on Leicester Fan TV. But what are the words to describe it? It's a mess. 6 games in, make a decision. In that team below, has Brendan Rodgers made much of a decision? Well, I guess you might argue he's dropped Vardy. But again, I'd sort of look at that and go, well, Vardy's been given no service, so he hasn't looked very good. Daka's not looked very good. He scored 1 goal in the Brighton defeat. Could end up being 5 points adrift if results go wrong. Look, Forest look like they're going to be relegation fodder after last night again. That's the 2nd game at home. They've blown a 2-goal lead and let 3 goals in. Elijah's telling me off. Elijah, are you coming into this for a little chat in a minute? Elijah's getting set up for the watch-along. Oh, matron! I know, I'm sorry, Luke. I apologise for that. Phil Sweat. I am so sorry for swearing and using the S word, everybody. But it is a show. And again, I'm already waiting. The game is going to be 22 minutes away. You're just waiting to see Maddison on the wing and Ward in the goal. James says, what's the team? It's screaming a lot along the ticker. So listen, JJ, that's fine. Evans, fine. Castagne, fine. Wout, Fez, Wout, whatever. Let's see. I hope he's good. I slightly question if he's that good. Why has nobody else bought him this summer? But hey, look, I'm prepared to give the new guy as much chance as we can. Youri Tielemans, about time he did something. And Ndidi, let's play that round peg where that round hole should go. Let's play Ndidi. What position is Ndidi? He's a central defensive midfielder. It's very straightforward. Play him there. Luke saying that was Dane language compelled. Trust me, it'll be worse than that. And then he's got. So what's the midfield is the question, and what's the attacking lineup? I guess Barnes is going to be on one wing, which makes sense, and Daka down the middle, and then maybe it's going to be. I'm reading some of these guides. Maybe it's going to be Maddison's on the wing. Andy, good morning from New York. What's your score predictions? Kenny says, I can see Forest smashing us at home. It'll be an embarrassment to go above all before it. If we don't win today, if we're on 2 points and we play Forest on Monday, October the 3rd, it's a relegation 6-pointer. I hate to say that. Barry's letting me off for swearing. It's not acceptable, Barry. I do apologise, but hey, it happens. What's with not playing Albrighton? I don't know. I mean, Albrighton's such an interesting one, isn't he, Karen? Because you'd sort of go, on one hand, you'd probably argue that he's probably coming towards the end of his career. Maybe Rodgers doesn't feel like he can do it week in, week out. But then why have we given him a new contract? Why have we made Albrighton vice-captain if he doesn't play? Another head scratcher. Right, let's get Elijah in. Elijah, thumbs up. There we go. Elijah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, Elijah. Apologies for my rude words, my awful swearing. Come on, I need you. You're going to do the watch along in a minute throughout the whole match. I need you. Yep. I feel like I'm being Mr. Miserable before we've even kicked a ball. How are you feeling? And have you got something to be positive about?
I've been desperately trying to find some positives. I'll admit this is probably the most pessimistic I've been since really becoming a Leicester City supporter, let alone since joining the channel. So it's hard to find some positives, but, you know, I've been reading the articles. Like, a lot of the players still seem very focused on getting wins. There aren't a lot of heads dropping, which is a very good sign at this point. You know, when you're 6 games in on 1 point, it's easy for that to happen. That's what happened to Derby in their season. We're not giving up yet. This will be a very difficult match. I think it was a real kick for us that we lost our match against Villa that realistically could have been that momentum turner, but you got to take the blows, roll with the punches, and now's our chance to at least try to pick up our first away points of the season.
Elijah, I think you've done a graphic for us, which I'm about to put up on the screen, which is how you think the team's going to line up today. Because I've been talking about playing round. Does this make sense in Canada? Round pegs in round holes. Does that translate?
Yeah, we have that saying here as well. Yeah,
so this is where you think the team's going to be. You think it's a 4-1-4-1?
It's how Rodgers has been playing so far, and it's what my broadcast sources have been saying so far as well. I was about to send a chat in before you added me on screen as well that I kind of understand why Maddison is where he is in this lineup, because that center of midfield is where this team is strongest. Like, we have so much depth in that one position and that one position alone. He wants to put his strongest players into this squad to face what will be a very strong Tottenham side. However, we have players on that bench who can play that position. And then we can keep a player like Maddison on the bench so that we can have that kind of halftime substitution. And we're not playing them. Like, he loves to play Jose Perez in that wing role, even though realistically he's playing him out of position as well. And now he's on the bench in favor of playing a player out of position on the wing. Mark Albrighton, you were mentioning it before. Like, I will always campaign for Mark Albrighton to start games. I love the guy.
Too. If you want somebody to play where you've put Maddison there as right winger out of a 4, you'd go for Albrighton or Perez, wouldn't you?
The only reason that I might say that it's better to have Maddison than Albrighton in that position right now is because of the fact that we're playing Daka up front instead of Vardy. Daka is one of those players who can do better with sort of passing along the ground, build-up play like that, versus Vardy, who's obviously much better with the long ball over the top. And that's where you want Albrighton in that position. With Maddison, we might be trying to play a little bit more patiently, a little bit more slow passing, build up play. Tottenham are going to be playing a kind of narrow formation as well. They've got 3 at the back, 4 in their midfield from what I'm seeing as well. So I think that might be what we're going for, is more running play up the wing, breaking inside around either Lenglet or Sanchez and trying to pass the ball low instead of high crosses that we would expect more from Albright.
But Elijah, I hear what you're saying, and I'm going to put your team back up on screen. This is how you think that's lining up. My question to you and everybody who's watching is, who out of Harvey Barnes, Dewsbury Hall, Tielemans, Maddison and Ndidi is our best playmaker, number 10, i.e. proactive forward centre midfielder? Out of those 5 players, who is that best player there?
I know a lot of people have been saying Maddison outright. I don't think that it's an outright decision, but I'd say it's Maddison or Dewsbury Hall. One of the two. It's a toss-up between the two of them for me.
No, but I'm talking about, as you know, like that quarterback role, that person who's going to take the ball in and actually, with Maddison, if he plays in the centre, for me, he's either going to try and pick a pass for a forward ball, or he's going to try and do something himself, which might result in a shot or surging into the box. Or what he often does is draw a foul if he's there. Now, I would, for me, I'm going to be honest, I'd rather have Maddison in the central attacking midfield role than any other Leicester player. I honestly would. I think he is definitely better than Dewsbury Hall at that role. He is definitely better than Youri Tielemans at that role, and Barnes and Ndidi. Maddison, his best role is central attacking midfield, is it not?
On paper, I think that's a very fair thing to say, but on form, I do think that Dewsbury Hall has been really performing, and Maddison's form has been a little hit or miss, especially over the last few games. I mean, every single Leicester City player's form has been hit or miss lately, but I think on form alone, it's still in that toss-up position for me between Dewsbury Hall and Maddison. And we know how much Brendan Rodgers has been saying that he has been valuing things based on form, based on training performances. It's the reason why we played a center defensive midfielder in the center back role and didn't even put 2 different center backs that we had in the squad period.
Statistically, Maddison is the better player from last season.
Yes. I'm not arguing with you on that. I'm saying on paper, Maddison is absolutely the best player for that number 10 role. There's a reason he has the number 10 shirt. Not arguing with you on that. I'm saying it's on form at this exact moment, and there might be something in training that we're not seeing. You know, Rodgers, I know that we love to criticize him, but he's not an idiot. He has a reason for this decision.
Whoa. Rewind. I missed you then. Who's not an idiot?
Brendan Rodgers is not an idiot.
No, I don't think he is. I don't think he is for a second. My frustration, I think, Elijah, is I think you're probably right with that team, but I just come back to, I think there's some, don't give fans a reason to pick holes in it before he even starts. And I think I'd more respect if he said, well, this is my team, and I feel Dewsbury Hall and Youri Tielemans and Harvey Barnes is part of my front 4 in that, but I need a winger. So I'm sorry, Madders, you dropped. I'm going to put Perez in there or Brighton because they're both playing on the wing. And that's what I say. Who's the better winger, Mark or Brighton or James Maddison?
Agreed. And I'm not trying to defend the lineup as well. I'm just saying there must be some sort of reason for it, because Rodgers isn't going to choose that on a whim, especially when he has other players that realistically haven't been as bad in form as, say, a Soyuncu or a Vestergaard have been as alternative options. So he clearly has a reason for that. I just don't know what it is. But I would agree, absolutely on paper, Albrighton is a better winger. But like I said before, perhaps it is because we're planning more ground passes in this case, in which case, like you said, Maddison is very good at picking those passes, drawing those fouls. Maybe he sees some kind of hole in the... Tottenham haven't changed their formation. They played 3-4-3-1 or 3-4-2-1 in their last match as well. So clearly he might be seeing that there's a hole that he thinks Maddison can play through there.
I was just Lee put on there still as my friend tonight. I was just looking down to see what beer. I'm going to need a few beers to watch this. I do fear that coming on. Nick, I hope you're doing the watch along, Elijah, very shortly, so I'm going to let you go so you can prep up for that. Nick says, Rodgers isn't an idiot. Do me a favour. He's the biggest idiot going. He plays our midfield destroyer at centre-back and leaves Cags rotting on the bench. Just before I let you go, Elijah, to set up for the watch along, again, Tottenham, you've done the team there. Harry Kane always scores against Leicester.
He loves a goal against Leicester.
He loves a goal against Leicester. You've got them set up there as a 3-4-2-1.
Yes.
Our setup that you've got against them, how is that going to play against their formation there? And do you think Rodgers has maybe got that right or wrong? Is he looking at how they're playing, do you think?
There's two things that I like in the coordination of these formations from a Leicester City perspective. The first one is the fact that we have a wide forward midfield line against the defensive three. That opens up the wings when you're just up against Davinson Sanchez and Longley, unless you're expecting Sessegnon and Perisic to sit further back, perhaps making it into, say, like a 5-2-2-1, then there are going to be those holes. And again, if we're playing a player like Maddison on there who has passing ability, and you're playing a player like Barnes on the other side that has pace, I think he's expecting to see holes in those back corners where we can then play ground passes along the goal. The second thing that I like about that is the fact that we're counteracting a single central forward in Harry Kane with a back four and a single defensive midfielder in Ndidi. I think we're going to be expecting to see Ndidi and Kane in a lot of tussles there, just trying to stop him from making his runs before he can even make it to that back line to compete with Theis and Evans.
Elijah, you have much better at tactics than me. I'm so old school. I'm just like, let's get stuck in today. All right, listen, Elijah is doing a live watch along all the way during the match, half time, full time, and then I'll be back at full time with a full time show. Elijah, thanks so much for joining us. Have a great watch along.
Cheers, Phil.
Cheers for Elijah all the way. Make sure you tune in, watch the game on the telly, have Elijah on your lap, get your comments in. Celebrate those goals with us. That's what's going to happen. Although I'm not. Does anybody think we can win today? Come on. Somebody put in the comments that they think we can win today and why. Andy's saying Spurs will overrun us in midfield. Ivor's saying realistic prediction 4-1 Spurs with Leicester scoring first. Let's have some. I tell you what I want, like Ivan's just said there, let's have some realistic predictions. You've got your head says one thing, your heart says another. Let's have something in the middle. Let's have something where you think, this is going to be the score today and why. But try not to have blue tinted specs, but try not to be too negative either. Because I'm going to tell you that Spurs are third in the league and had a good, really, really good start to the season. Conte, you'll see Conte's full of passion down the side, and you'll see Brendan Rodgers maybe stood there with his arms folded. I'm struggling, in all honesty. I have so much hope for Leicester every game. I am struggling to see us winning today. I really can't see us winning today. Maybe the chance of a draw. I'm struggling to see that. I really am struggling to see that. RF is going 4-0 Spurs. David is going 2-2 for him. I think you can. And we could go there and win. It wouldn't surprise me, but I can't see it. Andy's saying 3-1 Spurs. Ellis is 3-1 Spurs. Simon says, not a chance we'll get spanked today. I'm fearing that. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Dave says she wants to talk shite and say we'll win. No, I don't. I want you, Dave, to say what you genuinely think. I'm being dead honest here. You can come back and watch this at the end. I think we'll lose today. I hope. My heart is saying maybe we'll get a draw. I don't see it because I look at the team today and I think Rodgers has made a couple of tweaks, but I just don't see it happening. I don't feel like he's done anything brave with that team. I think dropping Danny Ward and putting Iverson in there would have been brave. I don't even think putting Maddison in the middle of midfield would have been brave. I think it's just pretty obvious. Simon saying, I don't want Spurs to score loads. I've been talking with Jake and Sam, my lads. We watched the match. We're looking forward to it. We're saying we hope by half time we're still in the game. That's how we're looking at it today. I hate to see that. Simon saying doesn't think Spurs will score many. Dan saying a draw, but I don't think we are strong enough in that midfield to match Spurs. Michael has joined the stream. Michael, can you hear me? Let's see. Michael, can you hear me?
Wait, Phil.
Hi, Michael. Are you there? Michael, firstly...
It's black until we win. It's black until we win.
Are you joining Elijah for the watch-along?
Yes. Let's do the watch-along. Let's do it.
Fantastic. So Michael is going to be over. Now, listen, Michael, we've got about 2 minutes before we hand over to Elijah on the watch-along. Positivity. If anybody is Mr. Positive, it's you, Michael. So I'm feeling really negative. I'm being honest. I'm struggling to see a win.
I get it. I totally get it. The club is in a position right now where we're just struggling right now. And when I started to follow the club, we were fighting for to stay in the league. And then by the grace of the soccer gods, we won the league, and then we had a couple top 5 finishes. But I think right now, me as a new fan, I'm getting a little wake-up call. Like, we're struggling for funds and we're struggling to bring in players. But what we're seeing is a lack of fight from the players. We're like, it doesn't matter how much a player costs. We're not seeing the fight. And that's what is so discouraging to the fans, I believe. You know, I'm an American. And when I hear you guys say things like my club and get out of my club and this is my club, I'm starting to feel that, you know, like it hurts when we come up against Spurs. The team, when I started to follow that we were going to take out of the top 6, it was the 2 Manchesters, Liverpool, and Chelsea. And we were supposed to be that team, that club that took over Spurs and sent them down. And they've put us, you know, in a bad spot the last couple seasons. And I get it, but we have to get behind the boys. Like, no more transfer talk, no more Brendan out talk. It's not going to happen. We have to get behind the boys. We brought in Wout, Foss, and, you know, they're bringing out the flowers right now. You know, it's black until we win. I want to also send my condolences to all the British people with the loss of the Queen, and, you know, God bless King Charles and the family. This is a time where, you know, we should come together and let's back the boys. Let's go. You know, I'm looking forward to this match against Spurs here in London. You know, we're struggling right now, but let's get behind the boys. I don't see a win either, but we got to at least see some fight. You know, we got to at least see some fight.
That is. I mean, for me, Michael, that is the bare minimum. I want to see players running around 100%. 100%. I want to see players not telling each other to F off. I want to see players backing each other and supporting each other. That is the minimum. Listen, Michael, I'm going to let you go. Go and join Elijah in the watch-along. Thanks so much. Great to have Michael there. What were you doing? Were you about to do? He's got the beers ready already.
No, I'm drinking coffee this morning.
Oh, come on, Michael. Go get you'll need a beer. We'll see you in a bit. I'm going to let Michael go. I'm going to let you guys go over. I've just put the link in there. Go and click on that link. Go and join the watch along. It's another live stream. We're going to finish this one here. Just talking about the pre-match show. No walking today from the lads. I think playing Castagne is a lot better. Last time we found a new king, we won the league. There you go, Ivan, Mr. Positive. We'll take that. Listen, it's Leicester. Anything could happen. I'll see you at the end of as soon as the match final whistle goes. We're starting another stream with the post-match show today. Please go and watch the watch along with Elijah and Michael, and let's see what happens. I hope I'm wrong today. I really hope I am wrong. Ivan says win, win, win. Let's get in there. I love a bit of player accountability, says Liam. I hope so. 100%. That's what we need. 100% LCFC. What a great name for a Leicester fanzine channel. I'll see you later. Cheers all.